I mean, let's. Good morning, Muscatine. It's snowing. It's snowing again. I can see it from here. It's still gray, it's still crappy. We will get through this together, I swear. There will be a light at the end of the tunnel. Eventually. I don't know when. It's Thursday. We're almost done. The weekend's supposed to be a little nicer. Hopefully this 2 to 4 inches isn't going to be here very long. But you've got a lot of stuff to do this weekend in Muscatine. You've got, down in L&M, you've got their Business Professional Association high school kids are doing their live auction. You can have dinner down there tomorrow night. You've got, up in Wilton, you've got the Fine Arts Guild putting on Agatha Christie's Mousetrap Saturday and Sunday. Then Saturday night, you have the Muscatine Symphony. You also can start signing up for Bowl for Kids' Sake for next month. Contact Lindsay Phillips out at the Muscatine Community Y. You can call Megan Francis and get in the Crossroads raffle for the Branson trip and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you haven't created your to-do list for the weekend yet, I just gave it to you. There's like the whole thing. Just write it down, go do it. But today we're actually gonna get to talk about June. We're gonna get to talk about summer. I've got 3 wonderful ladies here who are going to tell us about something you can have your kids do this summer and not think about this crappy. I'm going back to, I still, ladies, you probably didn't know this, but for about 3 weeks, I kept thinking it was December. Like every morning, I'm like, hey, it's this, and I was totally wrong. But you look outside, it looked like December. So but you guys are going to save us. We're going to talk about summer. We're going to talk about kids, so it's going to be more fun. So first, I'm going to have you guys introduce yourself, if you would, and then we'll kind of like roll right into the day camp and like how this all came to be, because this is a pretty awesome thing for Muscatine. So, would you like to go first, Miss Cindy?
My name is Cindy Axtell, and I am the pastor at Musterville United Methodist Church,
which is the one
that has 1001 Oregon Street.
Yeah, so like down by Salvation Army.
Yep, right across the street, Mustard Park. Yep, right in there. So
try and give them some visuals.
Yep, that's the one.
Awesome.
Michelle Berns, Muscatine County Conservation Board naturalist, and our office is located in Discovery Park.
Yep, so everybody knows she usually has cool animals. We'll have to maybe,
She just has us today.
Well, we might have to work on that.
My name is Aleese Kenitzer, and I'm pastor at Shepherd of the Cross Lutheran on the north side of town, right behind Krieger's, old Krieger's, yes.
Yeah, so Krieger's, that way. So, okay, so you ladies are here today to talk about the Christian Day Camp that's June 13th through the 16th, correct? So what all is the day camp? Who can come to it? What's like the quick little 30 seconds of what they need to know? Oh, don't fight over it.
Well, what you need to know is it affects ages from kindergarten through 6th grade. That being said, we want to be flexible just a tad. If kids are, there's always that thing, well, I'm going into this grade or whatever. So anyway, just don't be afraid to send in your registration. And one of the things that got us going on this is we wanted to have something that would be low cost, because many of the more stationary camps on location are quite expensive, and it is expensive for a family to send several children. So the only cost involved here, thanks to a lot of great supporters, is $10 for a t-shirt. So the price is right. And with the Discovery folks, naturalists on board, and many community leaders have been so kind and so enthusiastic about being a part of it, it's been really easy to plan, and yeah, we're inviting kids to bring their bikes, and Salisbury is a little bit spread out, and so they can ride their bike around to the different activities. And
so what it's going to be, essentially, it's going to be like Monday through Friday, right? All Monday through, or Tuesday through Friday, pardon me, because I knew it was 4 days, and there's an overnight in there. So I was, as everybody knows that watches the show, I get confused really easily. So we'll recap this like 6 times so that we get it right. But so it's like Tuesday through Friday with an option to stay overnight into Saturday. And it'll be out at Salisbury, correct? And then you'll be doing a whole bunch of your lane of stuff. So like the list that I kind of saw, some stuff is pretty awesome. People will be able to register online, but what for the kids? So it looks like it's, what time will they be there? I guess let's just
9 to 3.
9 to 3. Okay. And so what will a typical day for the kids look like out there?
Well, I brought the schedule, so we
Oh
can
my
go
god,
over.
she does. She has like
Yeah.
She has like a full grid. Like they're ready. Like this thing's not until June. Okay, hold on. I gotta show them this. Okay, so this is the schedule already. It is literally March 9th. We are for. I don't have this for what I'm doing tomorrow.
It's what we do.
just one day.
Wait, that's one day?
That's one
Oh,
day.
I assume oh my goodness.
There's a page for every day.
You guys are ridiculous.
We're
wow.
professionals.
Like, no, that's awesome. That's like, that's about as legit as it gets.
So each day, Muscatine County Conservation Board will be leading a session. So on June 13th, we'll be doing a nature hike, and so we'll walk through some different areas in Salisbury, and we'll do that 4 different times, so all the groups can get a chance to do that. We'll be doing some fishing. We'll be doing archery.
Is that like pole fishing or is that like shotgun fishing?
Pole fishing.
Pole fishing, okay.
Yep. And we'll be doing some archery for the older kids, like 4th and up, and then we'll do atlatls, which is a little bit different. It's a primitive tool that Native Americans use to hunt with. It's really fun. You should come and try it.
What is it?
So
you just like told this look, just for future reference, is that I have never heard of. Tell me more look. So what is it?
So it's the atlatl is a tool that Native Americans use to make their arrow or their dart go farther. It's basically you're making your arm longer, so your dart travels farther. Did you find a picture?
I did. So it's like it's also called a spear thrower, literally. Like people look this up. Like
it's really pretty cool.
it's like a slingshot for a spear, sort of. The image they have here, but it's okay. Anyway, go on.
So that's definitely not all of the kids are able to pull the bows back. So
right.
The atlatls give them a chance to do something with archery.
Awesome.
More primitive. It was before the bow and arrow.
That's awesome.
And then we're also going to do a paddling day. So we'll have the canoes and the kayaks out on Chicken Creek, and all the kids will get to throw on life jackets, get a little bit of information about safety, and go out and paddle around a little bit. So hopefully a lot of opportunities for them, and that's just what we're doing. But there's lots of other stuff that's going on. Do you want to talk about the other stuff?
Sure. Okay.
Go for it, Aleese. Just jump in there. You got it.
So, as Michelle has mentioned, there are so many different community partners who Pastor Cindy has mainly been the one who's been coordinating. So we have volunteers from the Art Center who's going to be able to do some different projects with the kids. If I remember correctly, we have some people coming in from Kent Feeds as well who are going to be doing some different education with that. We have people from Harper Cycling who'll be doing some bike safety. Pastor Cindy mentioned we're going to be biking from station to station. So this truly has become a community project with a lot of different people involved with it, even beyond the conservation board. So if you know of an organization in town, they're probably a part of this and going to be doing something with the kids. The library, I believe, has also been helping support this, doing some storytelling with the kids later in the afternoon, during the evenings, on Friday night when there's an opportunity to stay over. So trying to be as holistic as possible to highlight what is here in Muscatine and then also offer that to the kids.
Which is awesome. And that's, one thing that we talk about on here all the time. And we were actually just talking about it just before the show. We were talking about like the community calendar and like ours, and like there's actually tons of, like right now I think there's like 2,500 events on our calendar, like our community calendar for the next, it's crazy. so there's tons of stuff going on. It's just you got to know about it. And we were also talking about, like, if you're putting on an event like this, how do you make sure everybody knows about it? There's so many, it used to be so simple. People read a paper and maybe watched TV and they were done, right? It was easy for people who put on events, like you do two things. And now you've got to have it on social, you've got to have it like everywhere. And so little plug for us, folks, if you need help with that, call us. Like, we literally do that all day and we'll just push it out. So, it's definitely one of those things that being able to see all these organizations in one spot is going to give the kids a tremendous understanding of what Muscatine really is, because I think a lot of times they just see little parts of it, right? So how did this, is this the first year for it? Okay, I thought so. So how did it all come together? Like, whose idea was it? Like, who do we get to blame for this?
Well,
It's you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's you. It's you.
Well, it is, because I was on the board of directors for the United Methodist camps for several years, but we have no United Methodist camps in eastern Iowa now. The two that were there have closed, because of budget cuts and all that. So kids, especially in the United Methodist Church, would have to go out to Indianola or out to Okoboji, which are great, wonderful camps, and they're doing a fantastic job. But many kids from here just can't get out there. And so then we've lost the chance that we have to tell the kids about God's great love for them. And that's what this is really all about, is to give kids a chance to come and learn maybe some of the stories that they've missed through COVID and all that. They haven't been able to come to Sunday school. So we have the Mobile United Methodist missionaries coming from western Iowa, and they're going to take care of the much of the stories and crafts that'll, kind of be themed together. So that's kind of how it started, and then began to just snowball with all the support, and so many people were, just so enthusiastic, and, it really was very easy to take off.
And what I love about this, and I probably won't use the right word here, which I do regularly, it doesn't matter what church you go to or if you don't go to a church. I'm going to use non-denominational. It's probably pretty close. It seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is definitely one of those situations, like the things that we have in common are significantly larger than our differences, and I think, you could sit here and I'm sure we could all have a discussion for hours about the differences theologically between a couple of churches, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, right? We're going to take care of kids, we're going to get them something cool to do, and have that underlying sense of security and safety and all that fun stuff, so.
If I may, Chris, I know
Absolutely.
one thing that when Pastor Cindy came to me over Shepherd of the Cross and asked, hey, are you interested in this? I jumped on board right away because it was a witness of unity, witness of unity between organizations here in Muscatine, and also a witness of unity of congregations and what it means to be in faith. And I think that is something, especially after COVID, that as the church is vital, and is so vital that this is an opportunity to witness to that and actually embody it. And oh my gosh, actually our kids are doing it.
Yeah.
Not just our adults, but actually our kids are paving the way for what it means to be one and one in the body of Christ.
Well, and that's what's interesting, for people that read the paper. Every week we have, is it every week? Yeah. I don't know why. I know what's in our newspaper. I promise, I know. I just all of a sudden had this fear, but the Muscatine Ministerial Association contributes every week, and we've all had this conversation about what that looks like, right? And it's this place for leaders of the community churches to be able to show their human side a little bit, and just what it's like, to where it doesn't have to be this huge barrier of oh my goodness, I'm going to church, it's this big thing, and just to show that it's just people, right? It's just people together doing a thing, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but it doesn't have to be this heavy thing. It can just be people, and that's, anything we can do to help out in that, I'm all for. But
Well, and I think that's a good point, and that's one thing we're not going to do. We're not going to talk about doctrine or any church's specifics. We're just going to talk about the love of God, and that's basic, and that's universal to all the Protestant churches and those who wish to be involved. So,
and so if you're a member of one of the churches, I'm assuming they can volunteer. I mean, and that's a heavy-handed go help. But also, if you're not, that's where I was actually headed with it, is if somebody wants to volunteer, will you take more volunteers? I'm sure.
Absolutely, we'll take more volunteers, and we're especially looking for some volunteers to help take these groups around the different stations. We have a lot of leaders like Michelle who are going to be sponsoring the different things, but we're looking for some people who can help shepherd the kids.
Oh boy, that sounds horrible.
It sounds amazing because you get to do it on a bike, and you get to have other people with you. It gets better, and you get to be in the hot sun
Mr.
all
Harper,
day.
You didn't hear me say that. That wasn't a bike comment. That was, whew. I have a hard enough time with like my 11-year-old's basketball team. That's enough of them. Like I don't know how you guys do it. So thank you for doing it, so I don't have to, because we'd probably end up with a few less kids. So what else do people need to know? We need to know how to register for this, right? How do we do that?
The best way to register is online. We thankfully have a website that has all the information in one place, and so we really want to direct people to that. It's shepherdofthecross.org/Christian Day Camp. Yep. And from there, you can register right online. You can pay for your registration fee online, and then any health forms that will be needed, because we will be outside, we need to have this information for our kiddos, can be downloaded directly from there and then submitted. Yep.
And so the cool thing, we all did day camps, I did Cub Scouts, all that fun stuff, right? The thing that I think is cool about this is the overnight at the end. So what's that going to look like? You guys doing anything cool?
Let me turn to the schedule.
I should have known.
So we're going to do some survival type activities. So fire building, shelter building.
Oh, wow.
So out at Salisbury, we have a really great area where there's a lot of fallen logs, trees, things that have been brought in from previous floods. And we have the kids actually try to make a shelter that they would want to spend the night in. So they take these logs and they lean them up on the trees. And we do this with a lot of different kids, and they love it. It's one of their favorite things to do. So then we do a little walk around to each shelter and say, okay, now would you stay overnight here? Could you? Would it protect you from the rain, the wind? Look at that snow out there right now. Those are Would you want to stay in this overnight?
I can tell you, if I built one, the answer is going to be no.
There are some really extensive shelters that get built. So we do the program with our field trips, and kids come out and go camping, and they go to this place and they build shelters with their friends and family, because they're camping out there. It's a really cool place.
That's awesome. Now, the worst part is I'm sitting here chuckling to myself, because all I can think of is this old episode of King of the Hill where they have the Order of the Straight Arrow, and instead of having this outside camp thing that they're supposed to do, they're all inside in a gym, and they're lighting fires with flashlights and little paper flame stuff and fans. This sounds way more fun.
Oh, it'll be real fires, yes.
Oh, I'm there. I am there. Oh.
Yep.
Wait, no gasoline?
Nope.
One match.
All of your stuff. Yep.
Oh.
And there is the great thing about an indoor lodge. So if we do have bad weather, we're hoping to do everything, no matter what the weather. So sorry, adults, but yeah.
That's not the
But we do have an indoor lodge. So if we can go on.
Very good point. Very good point. That you probably just saved a lot of moms' stress levels from going to about 14. Because I can guarantee you, Melissa's, it's I'm in until Wyatt has to make his own shelter and it snows. I'm in until that.
No, the shelter building is just for fun. And then we'll do storytelling and, of course, campfire with s'mores. We'll do a treasure hunt. And then even a night hike, we talked about pre-baiting an area with we use Cheerios and peanut butter. And then...
Did you just make up a word?
Cheerios and peanut butter.
No, pre-baiting?
Pre-baiting, I don't know.
Oh, pre-baiting. I thought you said they still made up a word to me. What's pre-baiting?
So we bait the area before we put the tracking powder out. So hear me out. So we, for 3 days, we'll put out peanut butter and Cheerios or some other things that might attract the wildlife, right? So we put that stuff out, and then On the third night, we put out fluorescent tracking powder all around that baited area of food. And then the animals are coming to this area to get the Cheerios, peanut butter, granola bars, whatever, I don't know. Whatever we have left over in the cabinets.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then those animals walk through that fluorescent tracking powder to get that food, and then they walk all over the place. And so then we use our fluorescent lights, the black lights, and we shine them out, and then we can see these tracks like up the trees and up the branches and out away from the area.
It sounds like you know what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Like, I mean, you're making up words on the spot that actually sound like they make sense. And it's like a science thing right there.
Yeah.
So, no, but that's awesome. And I
talk to kids most of the time, so.
Like,
I can
talk to me, I'm in. Most of the time I'm not that far from a kid, so.
But yeah, it's a really fun activity. And it kind of gives kids a chance to see, oh wow, we can see these things without even those animals being there, because we can follow their their footprints. So
that's awesome.
It's really fun.
Like, I might have to just like come spy on this.
And s'mores.
I'm in.
I was going to say that Aleese has said she would come out and do a devotion late at night, really, whenever we can get the kids rounded up, whatever time that is. And if you've never been to a night devotion out under the stars, it is something that is so memorable and so moving that that's one thing I'm very excited about.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else? I mean, we've covered a lot, and we're going to recap it here in a minute to make sure that I get this all right, because if I can get it right, they can get it right. That's kind of like my threshold, right? Is there anything else major, though, that you guys want to make sure they know?
There's one thing I want to make sure that we mention, because this is a pilot year, and because we're mindful that there is preparations that need to be made. This year we are having to cap the number of kids who are going to be participating. So this year we've capped it at 80. So the first 80 kids are going to be the 80 kids that we receive, and we're going to move forward with this. If we receive this overwhelming amount, which we're kind of expecting, we are going to be putting a wait list together, and then either next summer or maybe there's another session that might be offered. But wanted to put that out there to make sure to push parents, register soon. Don't wait on this, because if you wait until April 15th, you might not get in. So please, if you're interested, register soon.
Well, and so that also goes, if you see that it's, like if you see something saying it's full or whatever, still reach out, still tell them that you would want to be a part of it, because then they know how to plan for next year, or like you said, extra sessions, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So, you know, don't just go, ah, crap. I mean, you can go all crap, but still send them an email, or still, you know, whatever. So we're going to recap. Let's see if Chris gets this right. It's always like a little test at the end, right? Okay, so, and I do have a cheat sheet because I'm using the website that we're going to put in the links for you, but so it's June 13th through 16th. It's a Tuesday through Friday. The overnight into Saturday is optional, right? The only cost is like $10, which basically covers the shirt for the kids. The rest is been provided by the community, right?
Lunch provided.
Lunch is provided, okay. And I assume, so it's 9 to 3, so it's, you know, drop off, come back later, you know, you can go work, do your real adult lifing, right? Or stay and help. That's, you know, honestly, that's even better. Nice plug. It's almost like you're a pastor. You know how to do that stuff. I can see it coming out, right? So then it's non-denominational. Anybody can come. Don't worry about that. Register online at Shepherd of the Cross, and I'm assuming there's a little button on there somewhere, but it's also just Christian Day Camp. There's tons of stuff, and like just looking at the list of that you've got on here, Harper's, we'll be doing the bike safety, the art center will be out there, of course, you guys from the Conservation Board, the fire department I saw, Girl Scouts?
They'll be volunteering.
They're volunteering, okay. So again, wide variety of stuff. There will be weapons training involved, archery, addles. There's fire. How many parents right now are like grabbing their rear? I don't know, but no, it's important stuff. Archery, all that stuff, fishing. It's fun stuff, and you know, it's good to know, and it's interesting, and I guarantee you it will be safe. I will put my name on that because I trust them. I know it will. As dumb as I may make it sound, it's absolutely not. And then there's going to be fluorescent footprints from animals Friday night in a pre-baited with Cheerios and granola bars maybe. So also, if you're hungry, maybe like Wednesday, Thursday night, need a snack, Salisbury is the place to be. I'm telling you, right?
Not suggest that.
Chicken.
Have you ever seen a hungry raccoon?
No, I have not. And I would like to keep it that way. I think we're going to keep it that way. That's the last place Chris needs to be, is out with a hungry raccoon. That's bad. What? Oh, I don't want to know.
It's okay. We do it all the time. We're professionals.
They are actually, and they're very
Yes,
organized.
yes, they are. They are. And I will say this, everything that I've ever seen the Conservation Board do, you guys do a tremendous job. So
We love it.
yeah. So thank you, ladies, for coming. I expect some pictures and a report back so we can make sure that we get it covered in the paper and some stuff like that. But thank you again. Check it out. We'll put the link down in the comments. Anything else? Last parting shots? Awesome. Well, again, thank you guys for coming. And Muscatine, we will see you Monday. Go hit the L&M BPA auction. Go see Agatha Christie's Mousetrap in Wilton. Call Megan Francis, buy some raffle tickets, sign up for Bowl for Kids' Sake, and then go see the symphony on Saturday night. I'll be there, and actually Aleese will be there too. I'll just be sitting in the back looking cool. She'll actually be doing cool stuff, playing up on the stage. So have a great weekend.